On WhatsApp, no one can see or hear your personal messages. Whether it's a voice call, message, or sending a password. To WhatsApp, it's all just this. So whether you're sharing the streaming password in the family chat or trading those late-night voice messages that could basically become a podcast, your personal messages stay between you, your friends, and your family. No one else. Not even us. WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone.
Hey, it's Paris. You know I love sparkly things, right? Like stars. Duh. And thanks to Hilton and AutoCamp, I just slept under them. Picture me, serving looks by the fire outside my luxurious Airstream, making s'mores with the kids, while a national park is our backdrop. The great outdoors meets Hilton hospitality. That's hot. Explore all the new ways to stay at Hilton.com. Hilton for the stay.
With a major selection of the looks your kiddos love, starting at just $4 in the Walmart app, a new school year means a stylish new them. Who knew? Find skater skirts and Crocs that say, I'm casual but cool. Sparkly sneakers that say, it's my classroom, you're just learning in it. And preppy polos that say, I'm the teacher's pet, even if they're mommy's menace at home. Find their favorite styles starting at just $4 in the app. The Walmart you thought you knew is now new.
What started out as a mail-order DVD rental service has turned into a streamer with straight-to-DVD quality films, questionable partnership choices, and scripts that make you wonder who poured coffee into the AI Scriptbot. It's time to dig into the bowels of the basement and take 5 of these streaming stinkers that will prompt Netflix to ask, are you still watching mid-movie because it thinks you need a wellness check, and see which flick gets the thumbs up and which one gets the middle finger. Prepare to buffer your brain with this edition of Grading on a Curve. What is up, everyone? Welcome to this edition of Grading on a Curve on the 4th anniversary of It's Not That Bad. Hello to all of our listeners in Poplarville, Mississippi, and around the world. How are you all doing? All right, we have got one hell of an episode for you guys, and I'm going to apologize right now to all of our guests on the round table. We have all suffered greatly for your enjoyment because we went through 5 of the worst Netflix original films of all time. Dear God, listeners, let me tell you the things that we put ourselves through for you. Don't get me wrong, we appreciate every single one of you, but you guys ask a lot sometimes. You do. But luckily, I like to inflict that pain on everybody else as well. So let me go around the table and introduce everyone, starting off with my lovely wife, Carrie. Carrie, how are you doing, and how have you not kicked me out of the house yet?
I have seen things, many horrible things.
She saw
I'm
dead
good.
people.
Thanks for asking.
She really saw dead people.
Right? You heard his voice when returning to the show. Gomez from the Sleevy G Show back. How you doing, man?
Doing awesome. So, by the way, because of every freaking movie you made me watch, 1, 2,
all the pill
3,
bottles,
4, 5, and this one just for cramps and headaches.
I'll take those.
They're not Midol. They're specialty pills.
They're not Midol. They're medicinal when it comes to watching Netflix movies. From the Footy Frenzy podcast, making his Grading on a Curve debut, Alex Leal's here. Alex, how you doing, man?
I'm conflicted with all of these movies. Dear God, there's even one that I had. It was so hard for me to watch all of it in just one sitting. I had to watch it in like multiple sittings because it was so bad.
Oh,
in that case, I'm going to start drinking for you right now. Hold on.
You went back for it. Oh, like I'll admit that there are some times that yes, a movie can be hard to watch, but oh my God, you went back for it. That's dedication. That's committing to the bit right there. And returning back to the show once again because apparently he's a glutton for punishment. Joseph Whalen's on the show. How you doing, man?
I'm good, Jason. You know what? I don't know what everyone else is talking about. I enjoyed these movies. I thought this was a great time. So,
What were you smoking?
Sorry, am I high right now?
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. That's a joke. That's a joke. That's a joke. This is awful. It's going to ruin my Netflix algorithm. I'm going to have so many bad recommendations now, Jason. So I'm going to have to send you an invoice for that. You're going to have to, my therapist will be in contact and
I'm drinking my therapy right now.
See, I'm starting to think that I need to go into our Netflix account and create an alternate account, like a user account.
Just for this.
It's not that bad, just so we can go back to our regular account and not sit there and be reminded of the crap that we have watched over the years.
Why did we watch this crappy movie again?
Yeah.
Because we have a mission to do, Gomez. We have a mission for the listeners. We're about to go through these 5 films. And let me tell you, none of these films are ever going to be considered to be the best thing ever on Netflix. However, we're about to rank these films from 1 to 5, 1 being the best, 5 being the worst, in search for the most sweet-smelling turd in the bowl, and to see which one just sinks to the bottom. And when we get to the end, we're going to take those aggregate scores and see what is the worst of the worst and the best of the worst of Netflix originals. So I think we've teased our listeners long enough. We've all suffered through them, but now it's time to find out what our listeners are going to have to hear us talk about as we introduce the combatants in the Pentagon of Pain.
There is no better way to ruin the algorithm of your recommended movie section than to go spelunking in the cesspool of steaming sewage that is the list of combatants in the Pentagon of Pain. First up, a movie about an aspiring writer mistaken for a notorious assassin that is so unbelievable it will have everyone lining up to apologize for the hate thrown at Argyle. Join Kevin James on his Venezuelan vacation in True Memoirs of an International Assassin. Next up is a movie inspired by a cheap $10 shirt found in a flea market that says, "My dad can kick your dad's ass." Buy the shirt, skip the movie. It's Father of the Year. In the third quarter is a movie about a signal that will block people from committing crimes, but it's so bad it will make you choose violence on your TV set. Mark your calendars for the last days of American crime. Next up is a movie that feels less like a Lifetime made-for-TV film and more like a life sentence. Buckle in for a mystery as cozy as a catheter. It's Brazen. And finally, your RSVP for the worst wedding of the year that's about to turn family get-togethers into a really, really awkward double date from hell. Forget Bridezilla. Fear the mother of the bride. No refunds on this streaming service. You got what you paid for with this batch of Netflix original sins. And now, let the ranking of the rank begin.
I feel like we need a
Oh my
bing.
god.
Like,
Oh, dude.
like
You know
start
what?
the fight.
I feel so
bing.
out of. I feel out of sorts. I'm the only non-Canadian here. I got a Toronto Blue Jay hat. I got the Ottawa guy. Alex, I'm not even sure where you're from.
I'm also Canadian. I'm from Toronto.
All right, you know what? Hold on. I gotta change hats now. I feel left out.
I think this is Gomez's excuse just to run away from the camera and the computer.
No. I feel non-Canadian right now. So
There you go.
Got the Blue Jays hat, so we're good.
I'm gonna rock my cool Blue Jays hat. Now I feel a little bit more connected with everybody here.
Hey, dude, you know, whenever you appear on the show, you are an honorary Canadian, so it's all good.
I know, but now I feel better because I got the Jays hat on.
All right, so we're about to go through these movies in release order, which means we're going to start with True Memoirs of an International Assassin, released November 11th, 2016, starring Kevin James, Kim Cotes, Maurice Comte, Julie Henao, Andrew Howard, Ron Rifkin, Kellen Coleman, Rob Riggle, Leonard Earlhouse, and somehow Andy Garcia. Directed by Jeff Wadlow, who also directed Truth or Dare and Kick-Ass 2. This script was on the 2009 blacklist of best unproduced scripts. Also, there's an almost star in here. Genesis Rodriguez was originally hired to play Rosa Bolivar, but she was injured during rehearsals, so Julie Henao took over the role. The film has a budget of $40 million, and that couldn't save it from the critics. Over at Rotten Tomatoes, this film has a tomatometer of 0, with a popcorn meter of 43%. At IMDb, it sits at 5.9 out of 10 stars for a 59% score. At Metacritic, it sits at 37. At Letterboxd, 2.4 stars out of 5 for a 48% score. And at the Movie Database, a 58% score. Giving this film an aggravated aggregate of 40.83%. And just so you know, of the 5 films we're talking about here, this is the movie with the highest aggravated aggregate of them all. So apparently we're starting strong. But Joseph, we're going to hand this one over to you. Where does this sit for you?
So it's a good thing that you ended on that note, because this was my number one. And honestly, like, I'm probably not coming at this with the most critical lens, to be honest. This was the second to last movie that I watched. So I had been through some shit, Jason. I'd been through some of the worst of this. And I got to this one. And listen, I'm not necessarily a huge fan of Kevin James's comedic stylings, generally speaking. I enjoy some episodes of King of Queens. Paul Blart.
Paul Blart. I always loved that movie. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's, like Paul Blart, I was kind of iffy on, but like this was like more than anything else. Like the only issue I had with it was just the improbable nature of the entire thing. Like that was basically my only gripe, was it was just really far out there that this would even come close to happening. Everything else about it was by comparison, it was a fun little romp. Like it was, like an hour, 30 minutes. Like it was digestible compared to one of the other ones. But in any case, this was one that I was like, you know what? This is decent enough. The acting was okay. The story was, an interesting enough premise, but just probably a little bit too far out there. But I agree that on the aggregate, as you pointed out at the tail end of your T there, it was probably the best one of the bunch, which isn't saying much, but I enjoyed it more than I enjoyed the other ones.
All right, Gary, I know you're a big Kevin James fan. Are you still a Kevin James fan after this film?
Well, I really liked King of Queens. Yeah, this is a 5 for me.
Wow.
Wow.
It was the bottom of the barrel. So I tried to watch this movie and then I lost interest, and I tried to pick it up from the spot that I left off and I lost interest. So I didn't see it through to the end, and I don't think I missed much. So I didn't like it. I like Kevin James. The premise, I thought, okay, kind of had that Argyle, you're going back and forth from reality to the words on the page and the story. And I just still couldn't. I was like, what the hell is going on? And who are these guys that's now chasing him down? And where the hell? It was, nah. I couldn't get behind it. And I just didn't care. I'm like, I don't know, kill him or don't. I'm sorry.
That's never good when you take a look at your main character and go, kill him or don't, but get it over with. I will say that this was also a very well enjoyed nap for me. But since, Joseph's got it 1, you got it 5, I'm going to come right down the middle. This is my number 3. And I say that, there is still some decent production value to it. I really enjoy Kellen Coleman, who played Kylie Applebaum, the agent who they kept on going back to at the Starbucks. I found her parts were funny. There were some funny parts in it, but let's be honest here. And I don't mean to cast aspersions on anybody, but no one is believing Kevin James is an international assassin. Can we not just put this out there right now? No one in the history. I'm more likely international assassin, and I barely want to get under the house and put pants on. Nah. Just nah. Katie Couric was a more believable international assassin in this. And yeah, it got complicated. It got like too twisty, and it's like, oh, everyone wants to kill everyone. Why not? That's just meh. Just meh. But there's still worse. There's better, and there's worse. It's a 3 for me. Alex, we're going to toss it up to you. Your first time on the show, your first movie. Where'd you put it?
I have to agree with Joseph on this one. This one is my number 1. It is way better than the other ones that I've watched. So, funny story on this one. I have watched it before. I think I watched it with my parents before. So, I rewatched it just to see if I had the same thoughts or anything of it. I still think it's a decent enough movie compared to these other ones that we're going to be talking about a little later. But yes, he is not an international assassin. Like, you cannot tell me otherwise. That Kevin James, a guy that's playing in Grown Ups, freaking just whatever, you're not telling me that he's an international assassin. You just can't tell me that.
Yeah, 4 words to that one. Here comes the boom.
Yeah, or that. Oh, God. Oh, forget that movie. That's another one. Jesus Christ. But I still think it had a lot, like, the story was whatever, but it was still an enjoyable movie to watch. And it wasn't, like, pain suffering or anything. There were some funny moments, and there were some good cast members. I liked Juan a lot because he could see through that bull of Kevin James. It didn't make sense for me how he became president at the end. That made absolutely no sense. But I was like, okay, sure, whatever. And I actually liked, I can't remember her name, but the girl that was playing the like badass.
Oh, that was Julie Henao playing Rosa Bolivar.
Yes, I actually liked her, in my opinion. I thought she had a cool backstory. But other than that, yeah.
Zule Henao.
Sorry. Other than that, yeah, this is my number 1, in my opinion.
All right, Gomez, take us home. Where does this film sit for you?
I am going to agree with Joseph and Alex. Being that I am a Kevin James fan of some of his movies, this is a movie that it's crossed Paul Blart 1, okay, Zookeeper, and what the hell is that one with Adam Sandler? I forgot the name of the movie all of a sudden. No, not Grown Ups. Yeah, well, you know what, with Grown Ups. So, this is like a cross of stupid slapstick comedy that we all sometimes love, but it has that fantasy, like Paul Blart wants to be that guy, and this is where he's getting that inspiration from. Grown Ups, the movie does need to be a grown up movie, because I'll tell you this: some of the stuff in the movie was kind of but like everyone said, it's enjoyable, it's laughable. It's a good drunken movie. So if you need a good movie to laugh and get drunk on, this was it, because you could easily take shots. I mean, this is better than the other 4 other damn movies I got stuck watching. I'll be honest with you. This was my favorite one. Man, like Alex, I watched it prior when it came out in 2014.
Plus, that's also only 98 minutes of drinking, so you might actually survive that.
Depends on how many shots you're taking.
Shots for everybody.
Shots. I already see us drinking already hardcore.
Right.
This episode is sponsored by Friskies, who would like to tell your cats hi. Now, if that didn't get your cat's attention, there is one thing that always does the trick. Just pour some Friskies crunchy food in the bowl and you'll hear those paws come running. Works every time. With so many Friskies choices, you can always bring your cats running from their secret napping spots. There's always more to explore. See for yourself at friskies.com or visit your local store.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso Virtuo Coffee Machines.
Ready to enjoy the bold flavors of barista quality Nespresso iced coffee at home? Simply fill a glass with ice and press the brew button on your virtual pop machine to enjoy rich double espressos roasted to stand up even when chilled. Refreshingly bold iced coffee. Refreshingly easy to make at home. Visit Nespresso.com to shop now.
All right, moving on to Father of the Year, released July 20th, 2018, starring David Spade, Nat Faxon, Joey Bragg, Matt Shively, and Bridget Mendler. It's directed by Tyler Spindle, Adam Sandler's nephew. This is his first movie as a director, but most recently he's directed Kinda Pregnant. There's no budget listed, but the critics did weigh in. Over Rotten Tomatoes, this film has a tomatometer of Le Gros Donut that is 0%, but a popcorn meter of 50%. At IMDb, it sits at 5.2 stars out of 10 for a 52% score. Metacritic, a Metascore of 32, and Letterboxd, 2.2 stars, giving this a 44%, giving this film an aggravated aggregate of 35.6%. Carrie, I'm going to toss this over to you to get our started here. Father of the Year, your vote, your ranking of this.
Probably an unpopular vote here or decision, but I'm going to give it a number 2 in my placing.
I gave it a number 2 while I was watching it here.
Because
I'm gonna save that comment for later.
It made me laugh. Is that bad? Is there something wrong with me? Really, really wrong. You know what? The VR scene, the entire VR scene where you've got like almost like a drunken Dave Grohl. I swear, okay, he looked like drunken Dave Grohl, and he's trying to fight a VR creature or zombie, and you know, and that turnabout where the son defends his father, and you know what, that made the movie for me. I mean, as far as like cheap laughs, this one had it. At least I laughed. It was the most enjoyable to watch of the lot. So that's my vote.
Gomez, over to you. Father of
It's
the
a
Year.
number. It's a number 2. I actually enjoyed this movie. Kind of funny. It kind of, I wouldn't say it represents my life a little bit, but the drunken stupid part, yes, it does. Before I got married, you know what I mean? That was me definitely before I got married. But again, David Spade, I always liked all his movies, even the stupider ones that he does. And it's a Happy Madison movie. The director could have done a better job.
First time directing. First time directing,
you should have done a better job. Could have done a better job. But that's my opinion. I'm not a movie director either. That was my dream. But I think I could have done a lot better than he did, especially some other of the scenes in the movie. But you know what? I was taking a number 2 watching this movie for a number 2 spot.
Did you put a TV in your bathroom just so you could get through all 5 films?
It's called cell phones.
It's efficiency.
You know, when I couldn't watch when you lose power in a big thunderstorm and you're trying to watch the damn movies, Netflix on a cell phone works very well. And it happened at the timing I was using the bathroom.
In case of bowel movement caused by movie, watch in the bathroom. Joseph, your thoughts on Father of the Year?
Well, we're going to make it a 3 for 3 because this is my number 2 as well. And you know what? Listen, I thought this had some really funny moments. The fight at the barbershop was like one of the, I really enjoyed that. Like it was just the back and forth, the awkward exchange between a barber and someone getting their hair cut. Just like super relatable. I like that. The friend Larry's weird magnetism was a funny bit throughout. Like he just attracting every woman that like filters through, except for Bridget Mendler, who like this was her last acting credit in a movie before she became like a neuro whatever. I don't know what the hell she's
CEO of a multi-million-dollar company. Yes.
Yeah. You know, which
What
hey,
the hell is up
listen,
with that?
you know, good for her, man. Either you can act in Adam Sandler's nephew's movies or you can do that. And she chose to do that, which I think is probably the right thing to do. The thing that I was just like, I know it's a standard thing in these movies, especially Adam Sandler being married to Salma Hayek and Grown Ups and all that. But we have zero idea who Bridget Mendler's character is, other than that she is interested in the protagonist for some reason. It's a very vague, unexplained thing that they dated in their youth, and now she's still somehow interested in him now. Anyways, she was incredibly underdeveloped. That was like my only gripe, is it felt like she could have probably been a little bit more of a factor in my enjoyment of the movie, and maybe bumped it up to 1. But overall, I mean, it was a fun movie. Like, it was, David Spade, he's funny. The accent kind of grated on me a little bit as the movie went on, but I was like, okay, whatever. But yeah, no, it was fun. It had moments. I enjoyed it. So number 2 for me.
It's funny. First of all, as far as the accent goes, clearly you haven't watched Little Nicky. I could deal with this film.
Oh my God.
Oh, Jesus.
Popeye chicken's raw.
The Popeye's chicken is awesome. I take a look at the Ben and Meredith relationship in this between Joey Bragg and Bridget Mendler. It reminded me a lot of Windows and Kristen Bell in Fanboys. And I really kind of enjoy. I love Fanboys. Fanboys is a great film. And I found that Ben and Meredith were 2 of the better parts of this film. But the VR is some of the worst computer animation I've seen since The Lawnmower Man. And The Lawnmower Man came out the late 80s, early 90s, and it looks bad now, but it was back then. This is now, and it still looks like crap. And also, you have a movie that's basically My Dad Can Kick Your Dad's Ass, and we barely see it. It's the most useless point of the entire film. And at one point, I'm like, is someone going to punch the crap out of someone? Because I'm feeling like I got a bait and switch on this. It's my 4. I found the jokes predictable, formulaic. I didn't need to see David Spade's wet naked ass falling out of a trunk. Didn't need to see that at all. I'm going to need some of those pills that Gomez was showing us earlier for my therapy after that one. Thank you. But yeah, no, it's just not. I found it a not funny comedy. There were aspects of it. It's definitely not the worst, but it's number 4 for me. Alex, take us home on this one. Father of the Year.
You want to know what's very funny? I'm actually going to be agreeing with Jason on this one, which is very surprising of me.
Mark it down on the calendar, people.
It is actually my number 4 too. It was a toss-up between this one and another movie that we're going to talk about a little later, but this is my number 4. The jokes just did not work for me. They're just so formulaic. I also just do not want to see David Spade naked on the freaking floor after being in the pool on the back of a truck. Like, why? The relationship is fine. Like, it's a whatever relationship. There are some funny moments. I do think that the barbershop fight is actually hilarious, in my opinion. And especially at the end where they're just like hamming it up in the barbecue for no apparent reason. But like, other than that, it's just kind of a whatever movie. It's harmless, but it's just my number 4 in my opinion.
That's the best way to describe this film. Mostly harmless. Douglas Adams would approve. The Last Days of American Crime, released June 5th, 2020, starring Edgar Ramirez, Anna Brewster, Michael Pitt, Daniel Fox, Tamar Burjak, Charlito Copley, Brandon Orrell, Patrick Bergen, and Sean Cameron Michael. However, there's an almost starring in this one. It's actually quite interesting. Sam Worthington was originally set to star in this film, and F. Gary Gray and Anthony Mandler were set to direct the film, but clearly all of that changed because it was directed by Olivier Megaton. He of Transporter 3, Taken 2 and 3, and Columbiana. This is his last film directed to date. No budget listed on this movie, but the critics definitely had a say. Over Rotten Tomatoes, the tomatometer of 0%. Popcorn meter 22%. IMDb 3.8 stars out of 10 for a 38%. This is the lowest of the 5 films over at IMDb. Over at Metacritic has a Metascore of 15. That's the lowest Metacritic score of the 5. Over at Letterboxd, it sits at 1.7 stars out of 5 for a 34%, and at the Movie Database somehow sits at 65%, giving this film the lowest aggregate of all 5 films at an even 29%. And let me tell you why this is my number 5. Because
yes,
there were points when I was ready to rage quit this. There were points when I was ready to hang up the podcast and just give up because I thought I had finally seen one of the worst films of all time. Worse than Norbit.
There's nothing wrong with Norbit.
Worse than
there
the
is
Garbage Pail
nothing wrong.
Kids.
Thank you, Gomez.
I would like to humbly apologize to all the films that I have said in the past that are the worst films ever.
Oh, so you're agreeing Garbage Pail Kids was good?
I'm agreeing Garbage Pail Kids was better than The Last Days of American Crime. This film had promise. I like the premise of the idea of a signal that can basically induce the mind to rebel against the thought of making crime. That's, and especially in the middle of what was supposed to be a big heist. I love that idea. The premise was there. The execution was I will give full credit to the cinematographer because there are times when this film had some great shots, great lighting. From an aesthetic point of view, the film's not bad. From a script, plot, pacing, tempo, everything else that makes a film, it's 2.5 hours long. Like, I'd like to introduce these people to an editor. 5. Gomez. Last Days of American Crime.
5.
5.
You pretty much said the whole spiel. The movie, excuse my language, I will say it. This was my, good Lord, what did I eat for dinner and what's coming out of me? It just was so horrible. I could act better than that. Matter of fact, I put Ben Affleck in that movie and it gets an Emmy nod. That's how bad the acting was too. But you know what? Ben Affleck killed all my freaking movies for me. Killed me on Daredevil. Killed me in freaking Batman. You know what? He'll get an Oscar nod for this movie. That's how bad it was.
If Gomez is asking for Affleck to be put into a film, you know the film has done poorly. Alex, over to you. Last Days of American Crime.
So remember when I said that there was a movie that was so hard for me to get through? This is the movie. Yep. This is 5. It's not even a question. It's not even a debate. This is 5. Oh my dear Lord and Christ. I hated this movie with a passion. This movie was so bad.
Joseph, did he just pray to God?
Either that or he's trying to perform an exorcism on the movie. One of the two.
I think he's talking to the wrong guy about this movie. I don't think God there was no a God.
There was no God. I did not get saved.
This film needs a young priest and an old priest.
Yeah.
Someone get the priest from Haunted House or Haunted whatever the movie is with the
the Exorcism.
The Exorcism. When they were throwing up on each other.
Oh man.
Oh God. There was one part in the movie where I actually thought they were going to end the movie, but I still checked. There was like an hour left. I'm like, oh, like why? Why does there have to be more of this? There does not need to be any more of this. The lady is just whatever. Like, I don't mind her storyline, especially her trying to save her sister. Like, fine. But everything else was just so meh. Like, the cinematography, yes, I do agree with you there, Jason. The cinematography was great. But the plot itself was just so meh. The main character was meh. He was so bad. Oh my God. I can't. No, 5. I'm done.
I never heard a grown man cry like that on a movie.
It was so bad. It was so bad.
All right, Joseph, over to you. Last Days of American Crime.
Yeah, so I'm gonna buck the trend a little bit and bump it up to 4. Because
wow.
I'll echo what everyone. It was too long, man. 20% of this movie could have been an email. Like, this was way too long, man. Like, we can cut down a little bit here. Also, so generally speaking, I'm not a big movie guy. As I'll throw that out there right now, just to So sometimes when I watch a movie and I'm confused, I assume it's because I'm bad at watching a movie, that I don't really understand what's happening because it's my fault. I immediately after watching this had to read a review of the movie that I just watched in order so that I could understand what it was I just watched, because I was like, what is happening in this? I don't get it. The idea that they could just, you know, escape to Canada, that, you know, no one in Canada is going to care about fugitives that are just on the run. And it's like, I think that there's going to be some level of cooperation between these two countries to get these people figured out. The idea that Anna Brewster as Shelby just walks free at the end, I was like, I don't understand how that happens. Like, they clearly caught Brick. Why can't they go and get her? I don't know. Anyways, Brick dies, obviously, but they were after him, so I don't know why she was just kind of off scot-free. Anyway, I thought the idea of the movie, like Jason, like you said, decent enough. But I was completely lost, and also I had to watch it in like 3 portions because, and that might contribute to me being lost and a bit confused, and maybe I didn't watch it with enough attention because again, 20% of this just did not need to happen. Like, we could have cut down that runtime, really just splice this thing up and make it a little bit more digestible, because honestly, I just was not feeling this movie at all. But there was one that I was feeling a lot less. So I'll leave that as a teaser. But this was 4 because, I mean, I was invested enough, kind of, but also it was too long and really confusing to me. And 4.
All right, Carrie, your 5 was already True Memoirs of a international assassin. So we know.
How dare she?
I'm scared.
Joseph has already bucked the trend and prevented this from being a straight 5s across the board. But Carrie, what'd you put this at?
You're absolutely right in your math. I am going to agree with Joseph. It's a 4. However, the unpopular voice of the podcast here, I didn't hate this movie.
It's because you had a Caesar that's bigger than your head, but go on.
That helped, yes. Not gonna lie. I really liked the scene with the father and son. And I say that because it was the only thing that made sense of how this particular character is so incredibly up. Like, to have his father, his own father, trying to kill him, and the dynamic between the two of them, it automatically made the whole thing make more sense to me. And I think that was the best part of the movie, honestly. I liked the character I liked the female character. At first I was like, whose side is she on? And then they threw in that she was working with the FBI to save her sister. And I was like, oh, okay, so she's like on her own side. Like, that's it. Like, she's going to play anybody for any extent that she needs to get her end game. And it made sense. So I didn't hate it. I think, and I found myself questioning if the actors were more notable, because literally you read through the list of actors and it was like, who and what have they done and where are they from and who? Which is pretty much, if you go down the list, that's, the reaction you're going to get. If it had been like more notable actors, I wonder if this movie would have done better.
I wonder. I mean, if we had Sam Worthington in the role, probably as Brick, I wonder. I don't know if it would be better, but I wonder if it would actually get Razzie nominees going on. Because let me give you a list of the films that were nominated for the worst films of 2020. Okay, Music, which was directed by Sia. Fantasy Island, the remake from Blumhouse, which was directed by Jeff Wadlow, director of True Memoirs of an International Assassin. Doolittle, which starred, of course, Robert Downey Jr. 365 Days, which is another abomination on Netflix. And the winner was Absolute Proof, a film made by Mike Lindell, the pillow guy. So, I mean, I'm not saying that it would have won Worst Picture, but I think if you had more notable actors in the role, you might have actually gotten Razzie attention as opposed to just being buried. Brazen, released January 13th, 2022, based on the Nora Roberts novel Brazen Virtue. Stars Alyssa Milano, Sam Page, Malachi Weir, Emily Ullerup, Alison Araya, Matthew Aaron Finlan, David Lewis, and Daniel Deemer, and directed by Monica Mitchell. There are actually accolades for this film. At the 2022 Leo Awards, Emily Ullerup was nominated for Best Supporting Performance by a Female in a Television Movie, but lost to Lauren K. Robeck for Cradle Did Fall. And Monica Mitchell was nominated for Best Direction in a Television Movie, but lost to Peter Benson for Rise and Shine, Benedict Stone. At Rotten Tomatoes, this film has a tomatometer of 14% and a popcorn meter that is the same. It is the lowest popcorn meter of the 5 films. At IMDb, it sits at 4.2 out of 10 stars for a 42%. At the Movie Database, it's at 48. This is the lowest Movie Database score. And at Letterboxd, it's at 1.7 out of 5 stars for a 34%, giving this film an aggregate of 30.4%. Carrie, I'm going to start with you. Brazen.
I liked it. It's my number one.
Nice.
Yeah.
What?
At first, I thought I didn't. And then I actually watched it twice, much because I walked into the room. You were watching it. I liked it.
You had no choice.
I willingly stayed without alcohol.
Wait, how the hell did you do that? I needed alcohol for that one, too.
It was enjoyable. You know what? I think I kind of liked the whole, I liked the murder mystery, an author who can get into the mind of a serial killer who helps the police solve the crime. And because it was so personal, it was her sister and she's dating the cop. And, it was a very complex situation, which I'm pretty sure in reality would never fly. The police would not allow
not that easily
anyone else involved in their investigation, nor would they put a civilian in that position. But I digress. It's the movies. They can do whatever they want.
That was the easiest sell job. You're not going to get involved in this, but I have a unique perspective as a writer. All right, you're in.
Right? And not to mention that it was quite personal because it was her sister that was the first victim.
Right.
But she was there, conveniently living next door to a police officer. And you know what? It was kind of one of those movies that it was so Hallmark kind of perfectly
Lifetime
put together that I found it enjoyable.
But again, I also know the books that you read, right? So the Janet Vanovich books,
yes,
the Irene Kelly novel
Sue
series,
Grafton.
Sue Grafton, yeah. So it kind of fits into your wheelhouse. So that makes sense. Joseph, over to you. Brazen.
Yeah, I'm gonna go right down the middle on this one. This one was number 3. I enjoyed it enough. Like I got invested enough in the story, like the murder mystery, like Carrie was mentioning. Like it's an interesting premise. Like, yeah, the idea of an author that can get inside the mind of a killer, as she put it, which is just kind of a funny. It was just a really funny, interaction, as you pointed out, where it was just kind of way too easy for somebody to just gain access to being involved in a case, especially given the nature of the relationship that she had with the victim. So it was just kind of a weird, it was strange, but it's a movie, whatever. You put it aside. Same thing with the International Assassin. Like it's like a fun enough premise. You just forget about it and you're like, okay, let's just enjoy this for what it is. So I kind of enjoyed it. It was okay. Jason, I feel it important to bring up that you were the teacher of two people that are involved in this episode. Is there anything you want to tell us about your online presence that we might find interesting? Any
don't
weird...
ask any questions.
Okay, all right. I'm just throwing it
in
out
the
there.
Closet.
Is there a locked room in your house, Jason?
I don't want to know anything about this. I'm glad that
we have a locked room. We have a locked room. It's a podcast studio. So
okay, all right.
We're all good. We're all safe. Now I'm not saying I'm wearing a leather dress here, but you know.
Shall I call you Desiree?
All right, Gomez, your ranking. Say it.
Do it. Just
louder.
Do it. I will give it a number 3. Reason is it's Alyssa Milano. That's my reasoning. She's actually a decent actress. I thought she made the movie really well. What annoyed me is, not for nothing, you're never going to get in the mind in a killer. You're not a psychiatrist or a psychologist or whatever. Okay, so scratch that idea. 2, I need someone to get into my head to figure out what the hell's wrong with me before she can even figure out how to get into a head of a killer. And that's the whole thing. But I thought the movie was good. It actually kept me interested in the movie. Not like, The Last Days of American, whatever, that crappy city movie. Last Day of American Crime. Excuse my language again. Pardon the interruption. But I thought it was a decent movie. It actually kept you wondering what was going on. It actually had a plot to the movie, surprisingly. So it gets a solid 3 by me.
All right, Alex, Brazen for you.
This one may surprise people, but I actually have this as my number 2.
Okay.
Which is very surprising for me. But I honestly, I have to agree with all of you guys. This one was an enjoyable movie for me. I read the premise, like basically the synopsis of the movie, and I thought, okay, this is an interesting, like, sort of premise to go through for the movie. And yeah, I honestly enjoyed the mystery. I do think, like, the whole ideologically, like, you can't have a writer who, one, is in a relationship with a cop and is a detective of that whole investigation, and her just being in it and just trying to figure out everything, even though it's like, yeah, let's not talk about that. That was very strange. I did not like that at all. But I'm going to just put that aside. I do still think the whole mystery and everything of the movie was good. And I thought the acting was pretty decent too in the movie. I have to admit with Gomez, with the girl going with the psychological. Yeah, Alyssa Milano. Yes, she was really good in it. I have to admit there.
All right, well, I've got this at 2 as well. And, I have to point out that this movie is exactly what it's meant to be. Feel like a made-for-TV mystery film. And you see a lot of actresses from, that were big, I guess, in the 80s and the 90s and whatnot, that have basically kind of fallen into this. I mean, Candace Cameron Bure has got her cozy mysteries. Jewel, the singer, is actually in a bunch of them. Lacey Chabert has done a bunch of these. Like, it's basically a genre unto itself. Like, you take a look at all the Hallmark Christmas films, and now you know what they're doing for the rest of the year. They're doing these cozy murder mysteries that are made for TV. This is exactly what it wanted to be. The story was decent enough. Alyssa Milano is good in it. Like, I found nothing bad about this film. I just felt like, a modern day Angela Lansbury. It exactly what it wanted to be, and it was fairly good. I found myself not shaking my head too much. I mean, obviously you got to suspend a little bit of disbelief. The police chief caved like another fangirl about everyone's got her book, but that was every single murder she wrote. Oh, Jessica's here. She's going to help solve the crime because the cops can't do shit. All right. That's all about the writer, because the writer knows everything. It's exactly what it wants to be. You can't go wrong with that. If you're just looking for something that's a fun passing of the time, Brazen is not going to upset your stomach at all.
What does every USAA member have in common? Family. We're one big family who supports the military community and their eligible families.
And if you, your parent, or spouse served, you could join our family and save big on auto insurance. Visit USAA.com/join today to check your eligibility. Membership eligibility and product restrictions apply and are subject to change. USAA means United Services Automobile Association and its affiliates, San Antonio, Texas.
This episode is brought to you by Nordstrom. Summer's almost out and fall's calling. Luckily, Nordstrom has everything you need for the season ahead, all under $100. Discover new arrivals from your favorite brands like Mango, Princess Polly, Wave, Free People, BDG, and more. Whether you're planning a last-minute getaway, heading back to class, or refreshing your office looks, you'll find the latest trends and beauty must-haves without breaking your budget. It's easy, too, with free shipping, free returns, and in-store order pickup. Shop today, in stores, and at Nordstrom.com.
Shh. Hear that? Big waves are calling. Dive into refreshment with Kona Big Wave. Tropical flavor and the taste of aloha in every drop. This summer, don't just listen. Join Kona on the Big Wave Bonfire Tour. More information at konabigwave.com/bigwavemusic. Kona Big Wave. Liquid Aloha. Copyright 2025 Kona Brewing Co., St. Louis, Missouri. Mahalo for enjoying responsibly.
Mother of the Bride, released May 9th, 2024, starring Brooke Shields, Miranda Cosgrove, Sean Teal, Chad Michael Murray, Rachel Harris, Benjamin Bratt, Michael McDonald, and Wilson Cruz. It was directed by Mark Waters, who's also directed Freaky Friday, Mean Girls, Ghosts of Girlfriends Past, and The Spiderwick Chronicles. There's no budget listed, but there are some accolades to speak of. At the 2025 GLAAD Media Awards, it was nominated for Outstanding Film Streaming or TV, but lost to The Groomsmen Second Chances. And at the 2025 Australian Production Design Guild Awards, Helen Alone was nominated for Production Design for a television production, and that award has not been handed out. As the time we are recording this podcast, those awards get handed out August 16, 2025. So you'll have to keep an eye on that one in Australia to see if this one actually wins an award. The critics chimed in fairly across the board. Over at Rotten Tomatoes, the film has a tomatometer of 13% and a popcorn meter of 18%. IMDb sits at 4.8 stars for a 48% score. Metacritic, a metascore of 39. At the movie database, it sits at 60%. And at Letterboxd, this is the lowest score there with a 1.6 stars out of 5 for a 32% score, giving this film an aggravated aggregate of 35%. Gomez, let's start us off here. Mother of the Bride. This is your number 3. Why is it there?
4. Number 4. Brazen was my number 3.
Ah, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, let's get that right. This would have been my number 5 if freaking the Last Day of an American Crime didn't exist. This was the ultimate crap box movie I've ever seen. First of all, I like Benjamin Bratt as an actor. I think he's a very good actor. To put him in this film is a crime, an insult. Brooke Shields, psycho mother. Figures you always have one in the family. I have my own mother, which I love, but she's like that. Movie was done horribly. I thought the movie was just horrible. It was a little more entertaining than the Last Days of American Crime. That's all I could say. You know what I mean? It was poor Benjamin Bratt. He's going to be known for this crappy movie. I know every actor gets a crappy movie. This was his toilet fire, dumpster fire movie. It just was, oh God, I couldn't, this is one movie I had to watch like 4 sections, like 4 different times frames, because I could not sit there and just enjoy it. And this is the one, remember I said there was the movie I fell asleep on? This was it, about 4 times.
Joseph, it's your number 5.
Yeah. Yep. And you know what? I will say, I think it was actually more entertaining overall than the Last Days of American Crime. I will say that. However, the Last Days of American Crime had some characters that I was invested in. Every person in this movie, except for one, sucks so much. It is so the daughter that's getting married.
Miranda Cosgrove,
who I like Miranda Cosgrove. I grew up watching iCarly. So I was
Me
prepared.
too.
I was prepared for this one to be higher, but I will say she just like removed, it was just the worst thing I've seen, where she just removed all agency for her mom at her wedding. It was like, you're gonna wear the dress, the black gown that makes you look like a evil princess, the stepmother. You're
Ursula.
gonna,
She looks like Ursula.
yeah, exactly. And then it's like your speech is written for you, like all this stuff where she just basically removes her agency and ability to be a contributor to the wedding at all. But that doesn't absolve the mom of anything. The mom goes to that dinner with all the four of them there and like is bragging basically about getting them like the highest gift on the registry, and then is upset when the dad, RJ's dad, gives him that apartment. It's like, well, you can't come in and basically be like, oh yeah, like I got you like the most expensive thing on the registry, and then get upset when the other person then one ups you. Like you gotta be like, anyway, every person except for one, and that one person is Chad Michael Murray. He is the only person in this movie that I wanted good things for, and he got stood up like kind of inadvertently, but still stood up, and we don't see him again. And I'm like, well, everyone else just sucks. Like I was like, I don't have any notes written for this, by the way. All the other movies I have notes written for. The only thing that I have to say about this movie is that every person, like every single character, except for like the Auntie Janice and the two gay dudes who aren't really, they don't have any development at all. They're just kind of there. They've done nothing wrong that I can see, but everyone else sucks. Everyone, like the main characters all suck. And Chad Michael Murray deserved a lot better. And I hope that he finds it in Sullivan's Crossing. Get into it on DTV.
You know what? I'm gonna do a first on grading on a curve. I'm calling an audible on my ranking.
Ooh.
And I'm making a switch.
Wait, what?
Wait, is that allowed?
Yeah.
My show, my rules, but I think you'll understand why. So originally I had Brazen at number 2. I'm upping that to number 1.
Ooh.
Because I'm putting Mother of the Bride at number 2. It was originally my number 1, but the more I'm thinking about it, there are some really crappy characters in this film.
Yeah.
Like I will admit, Brooke Shields, this felt like a film that should have gone to Sandra Bullock instead. And Brooke Shields just didn't bring that kind of energy. Benjamin Bratt's a gem in everything that he does. Rachel Harris, I loved her in Lucifer, so I was going to love her in this. Miranda Cosgrove. What the hell are you doing, girl? And it's not, again, so much the actress, it's the character. This character does feel somewhat irredeemable. Can we also just talk about the premise of this film? I get that Kay, single mom, single dad, maybe they got together in college, and the awkward chemistry that would be there. And had it been one of those things where they just learned to wish each other the happiness, fine, cool. This is going to be the most uncomfortable Christmas dinner freaking ever. Like, and what happens if Lana and Will get together and get married and have kids? Then Emma's going to have a sister instead of a niece. Like, have we not talked about, like, they had that one moment, it's like, oh, well, oh, yeah, maybe you should have talked about that a little bit more before the movie got on. Like, there were some decent moments in it. And again, remembering that this wants to be what it is, and that's just a simple, silly rom-com kind of film. There are those moments, but they're not 100%. And when you don't like half the cast in it, and I'm not talking about, again, I'm just talking about the characters. I'm not talking about the actors. If you can't stand some of these characters, the majority of the characters, then yeah, it's not going to be great. It could have been better, but it's definitely not as bad as some of the others. It's my number 2. Alex, it's your number 3. What put it there?
Yeah, it is my number 3. I have to agree with you there, especially like I grew up on iCarly. I really love Rachel Harris in Lucifer. So seeing Miranda Cosgrove in this movie and just her basically just going through an algorithm and just like making sure the influencers, they have to be top priority and not me. It's like, why? And then the whole logistical thing that you were even saying, where they could be step brothers or whatever. It's like, what? Like, why? I don't want to be watching this. But there are some funny moments in the movie, and like, I do agree, Benjamin Bratt, he deserves so much more. Chad Michael Murray, so much more. He actually had some good moments with Brooke Shields. He had some good moments with Brooke Shields when they were on the date. And he's just a good actor, in my opinion. I actually think he's a really good actor. But we barely see him. We barely care for him because there's no development for him. Once he's out of the picture, he's out of the picture. It's like, great. Okay, we have him for nothing now. But yeah, it's just a middle of the barrel sort of movie for me.
Can we just all admit that the real star of this film is Phuket, Thailand, wherever they were filming? Because it does look like a kind of cool resort to kind of spend some time on. Carrie, over to you. This is also your number 3. Take us home.
It's my number 3. It's right down the middle. I didn't love it, to put it as 1 or 2, but I didn't hate it either. I think it was what it was, and it was like stupid fun rom-com that, like, I loved this movie when it was called Ticket to Paradise. You know, you've got like the parents that originally broke up and then they get back together and it's so formulaic. The only difference is both mom and dad have children, the children hook up, and I was watching this movie the entire time, like, waiting. I was just waiting to find out that the fiance, was like a brother of the bride. Like, I'm like, okay.
But that's the weird thing. Okay, so like, I get it. Like, the son looks a lot like Benjamin Bratt. That's fine. But the problem is Miranda Cosgrove also looked a little bit like Benjamin Bratt, and I'm just like, wait, is the reveal going to be that she's his kid and this is what?
Yeah, and the wedding that they're here for is just a really awkward family reunion.
Yeah, and reveal that, by the way, like it was bad enough that Leia kissed Luke in The Empire Strikes Back, and this is where we're about to head to.
Okay, but think about it though, right? Thanksgivings, Christmas, you don't have to worry about choosing an in-laws, house to go to celebrate holidays because mom and dad are, together. So it makes for, family dinners, convenience factor, right? It's all in the family. Everyone's related. And I love how everyone knew each other, like
the gay couple. Yeah.
Yeah. But that they all grew up,
together. Yeah.
And went to college together and knew each other and had that kind of like familiarity. And here they are on this beautiful resort island, reconnecting, kind of like reminiscing over the good times. And it, you know what? I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It's right down the middle.
Yeah. Is it me or is Brooke Shields' mom character in this just like feel like the kind of person that they would make reality shows about? Like Momzillas when it comes to brides?
Okay. Here's the thing. I am going to go off on this because she didn't
Snickers bar.
Get the popcorn. She didn't do anything out of the realm of what she was told. She arrived. She wasn't being like an evil stepmom who, had to control everything. She was following the script and, even agreeable to wear the dress that she was told. She would go off as she was instructed and not interfere. She wasn't the momzilla of the bride. It was the bridezilla. In fact, it was the wedding planner who I have issue with because she was trying to manipulate and control this wedding and take it over to make it a corporate event. And it's not. It's a wedding. It's a family affair. Step out of the way and let mom, at least have her say and write her own damn script or speech. Thank you.
So basically what you're saying is this movie is a public service announcement that influencers shouldn't get married. Gotcha. Okay. All right. So we have one empty seat on the round table. Our good buddy Carson is unfortunately sitting on a plane right now and couldn't be here, but he recorded his picks. So let's get his numbers across the board.
To get right into things, my number 5 by far, and it's not even close. Let me just get this straight. If I'm putting something at number 5 here, it's for a reason, especially on this kind of episode, and it's The Last Days of American Crime. And the only crime here is not only cinematic, but it's the fact that I had to watch a 148-minute movie of absolute nonsense. Because it's not often one sees a movie as vile, ugly, and deeply incompetent as The Last Days of American Crime. And you know it's bad when it's completely just buried by Netflix. They didn't send screeners, apparently, to anyone. It didn't even show up on new releases at the time, like in terms of the Netflix genre bar. And it was apparently just something that not only do I, but Netflix wanted to forget. And I can't say a lot worse about this movie besides, not only could you have cut 45 minutes of it out, but who is this movie for? Who is it for? Edgar Ramirez, in my mind, is kind of the star that puts it forward. But I don't know if there was a more vanilla and disappointing, not only cast, but just delivery from cast than I've seen in a while. And I feel like Netflix definitely doesn't help itself with some of the things it greenlights. But when I think back to the COVID release time and how much random stuff blew up for just completely irrelevant reasons, I'm glad that The Last Days of American Crime did not blow up, because no one whatsoever deserves this abhorrent of a watch. And I know the show is called It's Not That Bad, but this is bad. And I have no positives to say, and I'm very disappointed about that, because obviously we're looking for A grades and B movies, but this is a D. This isn't even close. So this is absolutely my 5. If we moved on to my number 4, we have Brazen or Brazen. I still don't know how you pronounce it. It's a little uninspired for me, and I feel like in a day and age where we have a lot of kind of fun murder mysteries, like I think I look at the Scream franchise as something that definitely does this a little better, but it just leaves a little to be admired. I don't feel like it really introduces a murder mystery premise that is by the book, but it also doesn't inherently do it well. I mean, that being said, it does weave a fun whodunit story, but I feel like that's kind of the basis of a murder mystery anyway. As long as you can kind of contrive a whodunit moment, then you have something going for you. And I can absolutely appreciate any film, because that's what we're here for. But the salacious backstory of a school teacher turned online entertainer, I'm going to be honest, it comes off a little OnlyFansy. That's just my personal opinion. But the overall premise assures a suspenseful search for a killer with like this sexy, promiscuous undertone. But it plays most of its story safe and never truly reaches a whole lot of unique points for me. So that being said, it is my number 4. But you know what? I'm going to give a shout out to my girl, Alyssa Milano. Because you know what? There had to be a bright spot in this movie, and she was it for me. Because at least when she was on screen, I was able to step back and go back to my days of watching Insatiable and My Name is Earl and a few other fun things. So that's kind of my MVP here. To move on to my number 3, I have Father of the Year. I think the arrangement between Happy Madison and Netflix kept rolling to this point in time simply for the sake of content. That being said, I don't know if it's always the best thing for the audience, as opposed to probably the best thing that could have happened in the mid to late 2010s as the deal between Happy Madison and Netflix happened, because Adam Sandler really found his groove with a few things with Netflix, and I think that was a pairing that made a lot of sense. But it really just didn't come off as the quickie comedy that I wanted, and I think a lot of it stemmed from the fact that David Spade came off a lot like Joe Dirt, which is just a better movie to me. And I felt like I was missing a big chunk of kind of a stance in the movie. Like, you have those kind of funny drunken conversations, who would win in a fist fight, like this very kind of normalized proponent of like masculinity. And it seems to really just thrust itself into the idea that Happy Madison has become this this sock puppet for Netflix. Do I regret watching it like the other two? No, I don't. Like, at the end of the day, I enjoy David Spade as an actor. I can appreciate why Nat Faxon is not in a whole lot anymore, truth be told. And that's no disrespect on him. It's just, I think his type of his acting portrayal and character just doesn't fit a whole lot into today's day and age. But here we are. So I would definitely have to put this as my number 3. As we move on to my number 2, I have Mother of the Bride. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, a big chunk of the carrying of this part is because my queen, Miranda Cosgrove, is sick in this movie. And I don't care what anyone says. Like, over the last few years, there has been a trend of opulent destination wedding romantic comedies. Like, you got Ticket to Paradise, Shotgun Wedding, Anyone But You. So there's like a very much saturation of this genre. But it was at least fun to watch. And I liked as a Gen Zer getting to see some actors and actresses that came from my generation. Like, you got Miranda Cosgrove, you got Brooke Shields, you got a few people that obviously kind of resonate with my group, and that's definitely why I put this as a number 2 for me. And at least it was a funner time, even though that's not a word. It was definitely something that I appreciated more than the other 3, which is a common sentiment in this show that we do. All due respect, Jason. That being said, we move to my number 1, which I didn't even expect this to be number 1 when Jason sent out the list, but it's True Memoirs of an International Assassin. And I know that 2 movies ago, I shit on the Happy Madison Netflix, I'll say contractual obligation, but I'm not going to lie to you guys. I have a soft spot for Kevin James. I love King of Queens. I loved Mall Cop, so there will always be a little soft spot in there for me. And you know what? It looks and feels like a real movie. So I will take that as a huge win. Because there's been a lot of Happy Madison Netflix movies that have not felt like a real movie. And I think you can go right back to Father of the Bride to kind of reflect that. But no, like, I enjoyed this. Was it clean? Was it concise? No, but that's not why we're here. It was a fun time. I watched it with my partner. We had a good laugh about it. Are there some moments where you're just sitting there shaking your head? Yeah, but that's a Netflix original to begin with. Add Happy Madison on it, and that's what you're going to have. But you know what? I can't complain about it. And this was definitely my number 1. It was the most fun to watch. If someone put it on, I wouldn't be upset about it. But I can definitely appreciate what it did for Happy Madison and Netflix originally, especially way back in 2016 as well when it came out. So that's my number 1, True Memoirs of an International Assassin. My number 2, just to kind of go backwards, Mother of the Bride. Number 3, Father of the Year. Number 4 was Brazen, whatever the hell you want to call it, because I already forgot about it. And number 5, which I honestly might never forgive Jason for, is Last Days of American Crime. So, truth be told, just be done with you. Be done with you. But I hope you guys are all well. I hope the session has gone well to this point, and I can't wait to be back with you guys soon.
All right, so now we have all the tallies in. But it's funny, Carson actually brought up an interesting point. So I'm going to go around the horn and just toss one question at you guys. We know the stigma from back in the day of a film being released straight to DVD as being kind of less than. So, Gomez, I'm going to start with you. Straight to streaming, is that a red flag for you when it comes to a film?
No, actually, because there has been some good movies that went straight to stream. And I'll say one of the more memorable ones right now is the Axel Foley movie, the last Beverly Hills Cop movie. The last one, 3 flopped big time, and for him to come back, I thought that movie was a great example. It wasn't a flop; it was really good. I enjoyed every minute of it. His stupid his wittiness of being Axel Foley was amazing. So I mean, it was one of those movies that some of them are great films that go right to Netflix or Hulu or wherever you go. You know what I mean? Wherever you stream. So there are some. I don't think it's a huge red flag like it used to be. I think when streaming first started and it went right to streaming, I think it was a red flag. That means the movie was not made correctly, or it's to see where it was at and how it would do. Now I think it's more common than it is every day. I haven't. The last movie I went to go see was Lilo and Stitch because with my kids. You know what I mean? And I personally, I am not a fan of the movie. I was never a fan of Lilo and Stitch, but I gotta say the movie was really enjoyable. So for me to go there and watch it with my kids was really enjoyable. So I will say I did enjoy the movie.
Alex, I know we've talked about a few Netflix originals. So does straight to streaming create a red flag for you?
It honestly doesn't. I want to go back to something that Gomez said, but I'll leave that for a little bit later. But I don't think it actually gives off a red flag. There are some good production movies that Netflix or Hulu or Apple or Disney have made that are still really enjoyable to watch. Like Freaky Friday, for example. I never watched it as a kid or like went to theaters or anything, but I still thought it was a good movie. I don't think the second one's gonna do anything good, in my opinion. I think it's gonna be a train wreck. But people are gonna still go watch it because hey, nostalgia, right in your face. But let me go back real quick to Lilo and Stitch over there. No, it was.
Well, here's the thing: when you're at my age at 45 and you got two kids, you'll see why I say it was actually a good movie. Until then, you can't say much about it. My kids loved it. It raised. You gotta admit, it's probably one of the better Disney movies that already broke $1 billion. And that's the thing. It is true. It broke $1 billion worldwide already. And alone, Lilo and Stitch is the most popular character of all time of Disney right now. Alone, it did almost close to almost $100 billion in clothing lines, dolls, and everything. And I'll be honest with you, it wasn't the cartoon, but I'll tell you, it was pretty damn close for being a CGI movie.
That's money from people who never had to ride the Lilo and Stitch ride, because I got bad memories about that one.
I got a bad memory of a Disney ride that I went on this year, and I'm not even going to go there.
Joseph, straight to streaming, red flag or all good?
Yeah, I think it's kind of evolved over time to the point now where it's just kind of accepted as like, if you're going to get a movie that's going straight to a streaming service, like it's probably like a 50-50 proposition. Like it might be, it's kind of like that. I forget the football manager that said it. It's like sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe like, Yeah, there you go. One. So like it's kind of like it doesn't have quite that stigma of like straight to DVD, I guess. But also I've not seen a movie in a movie theater since like 2018. I just haven't gone back. I haven't so for me, it hasn't changed much. I'm just kind of like I wait for movies to come out on the streaming services anyways, and I watch them in the comfort of my own home when I can pause it and go to the washroom, or I can do what we've all done and watch as I go to the washroom for efficiency.
Well, I mean, you haven't seen a movie in the theaters that long because you kept on showing up in pajama pants and
yeah. No, they've told me I can't go back.
Yeah, no. Gary, straight to streaming. Does it put you off? Are you initially scared or are you fine with it?
As a movie fan, I hate to be the supporter, but I will, because I hate to think that video killed the radio star here, but I love going to the movies. I love the experience of getting the fresh popped popcorn and the huge drink and just like kicking back for 2 hours in a dark theater where when you see the movie on the big screen and the surround sound, it becomes an experience. Mm-hmm. I love going to the movies. However, I also really love the accessibility and the biggerness or the largeness of the Netflix originals and streaming services have given us an avenue for way more movies to be produced. And I love that because it's giving us more. And also the convenience factor, right? Like you can stay in your pajamas and, buy a bag of chips and just hang out at home. And it's far more accessible to round up the family and say, hey, I'm going to watch this movie. You want to join me? Sorry?
And the bathrooms are a lot cleaner.
Yeah, that is also a true tale. But you know what? I love both. And some great stuff has come out on streaming services or straight to streaming. And I love that. I respect that. I just love the entire genre. And as far as red flag, no. And you know what? The tomatometer doesn't even scare me off of a movie. Some of my favorite movies are misunderstood or panned by the critics, and I am here for them.
Well,
so
there's the thing too. Like, I mean, you take a look at the first three films that we talked about on the show, right? True Memoirs of an International Assassin, Father of the Year, and Last Days of American Crime. All three of them had a tomatometer of 0%. And in two of those cases, I could sit there and easily say, no, this is not a 0% film. Last Days of American Crime might actually be a 0% movie. But yeah, like it's hard to say what a 0% is. But I think the good thing, though, about straight to streaming is that movies, in order to succeed, need to do well at the box office for the most part. But that is not always the case for genre films, science fiction, for especially. And I think straight to streaming is a great home for those kind of genre titles that might not normally get the attention that they deserve in the theaters. But we're talking about these 5 films. So it's time to find out which film stands above, which turd floats to the top, what is the sweetest smelling turd in the bouquet of these 5 films. With an average score of 4.66%, Last Days of American Crime sits at the bottom of the barrel. At 3.166%, Mother of the Bride comes in at 4th. With a 2.833 average percent, Father of the Year comes in right in the middle. Sitting at 2.33 is Brazen. So our best film on this episode of Grading on a Curve with an average score of 2 is The True Memoirs of an International Assassin. That's 4 1s, a 3, and a 5. Last Days of American Crime might actually be our worst faring film of any episode of Grading on a Curve. And I'm here for it because cannot have those 2.5 years, maybe hours, felt like years of my life back. All right, guys, thank you so much. Let's go around the horn. Gomez, tell us about the Sleevy G Show.
So Sleepy G Show is just my podcast that I get together with some awesome people. I've had sports celebrities of New Jersey, great musicians, some actors, overall people who are trying to raise awareness. Right now, I'm a little hiatus. I'm enjoying the break with the family and the kids. But if something comes up, I'm going to do it without a doubt. I might not be putting it out as much as I used to, but I'm still podcasting. I'm still loving it, but I'm still going to be back here anytime you need me for Grading on the Curve. You know what I mean? This is something I will
say
always
that
love.
now.
Listen, as much as you torture me with these horrible movies, I'm still here doing it. I think I've missed one episode that I couldn't make it because I was deadly sick all of a sudden, so I couldn't make it. So I've been here for almost everyone, and I hopefully continue to keep doing it with you guys, which I enjoy every time I'm here.
Just think about it, dude. I've been torturing you for 4 years now on this show.
Yeah, and the one show you were on mine, we talked about Tony Hawk. Go figure.
which then became There Can Only Be One. So there you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Alex, fill us in on the Footy Frenzy podcast.
Yeah, it's been going really well lately. I am hoping to drop more episodes soon, especially with like the season already being done right now. Hoping to get more episodes in soon. And honestly, it was a blast being here on the Grading on a Curve episode. And I gotta be in it more, especially having to deal with Gomez most of the time. I have to.
That's what everybody says.
You know, you say that now, but there's going to come an episode where we just break you.
Oh, and trust me,
I'm waiting for it.
Oh, you don't want that. We already broke Jason already once, and we broke him with the Garbage Pail Kids movie. I really broke him on that one.
Being a guest on this show was like Stockholm Syndrome.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Joseph, what you been up to, dude?
Oh man, not much. I guess I should start a podcast. Jeez, find one with a premise where I can torture Jason and sort of reverse the fortunes a little bit here.
Then you can come on my podcast and we can definitely do that easily.
There we go. We'll just torture Jason somehow. We'll find a way. But yeah, no, you can find me on Instagram at Joseph Whalen 17. That's about all I have to promote. Yeah, that's about it, Jason.
And Carrie, thank you as always for sticking in there and dealing with the torture that I have ensued upon you through all of these films and the editing that you do for the other shows.
I'm going to ask a question. Has Carrie presented you with divorce papers yet after these crappy movies?
Pending.
I'm sorry.
I was going to tell him after the show.
Yeah. Just wait till she finds the locked closet. I think that's probably what's going to
with the hidden leather suits and the assless chaps.
I don't know.
Hey,
I couldn't resist. I'm sorry.
We make that crap look good, let me tell you. All right.
I want my mask back.
Dear listeners, you guys know the drill. If there's a movie out there that you think is unfairly maligned, that there's no way in the bottom of a Netflix bargain bin that we can find anything good to say about it, or there's a topic you want us to cover on Keep Watch Pass, hit us up on social media at Not That Badcast, or go to our website, notthatbadcast.com. And by the way, you want to be back here for October because once again, the second annual Mocktober returns. And also during that time, there's going to be a very special drop of our 200th episode. You're not ready for what we're covering. Until next time, he's Gomez, he's Alex, he's Joseph, she's Carrie, I'm Jay. You guys are awesome. This is Grading on a Curve. Happy 4-year anniversary, everyone. Take care.